Every month I'm making type beats for a different artist, and last month was Lil Wayne. Being a millennial, I've heard my fair share of his music. I like a lot of his songs, but I wouldn't say I'm a diehard fan. Mostly I knew the hits, and the only full album of his I'd heard was Carter 4. Absolute banger, by the way. I chose to listen to Lil Wayne this month because of his legacy. He's considered by many to be one of the greatest rappers of all time, and prior to this month, I had a very shallow understanding of his discography. Also, his story always fascinated me, becoming a rapper at age 12. Lil Wayne's discography is massive, and like previous months, I prioritize quality over quantity. I started with his first two albums, The Block is Hot and Lights Out, just to get a feel for his earlier style. And is that not the most 2000s album art you've ever seen? I knew before starting that this era of his music would be hard for me to get into. There is a lot of great early 2000s rap, but some of the production is hard for me to get into. My main complaints in this era are drums that are doing too much and mixes that are not clear. After his first two albums, I got into the Carter series, and this is where I did the majority of my listening. I started finding songs I liked, and soon I had inspiration for my first few beats. I really enjoyed listening to Lil Wayne, but one thing that got to me is his wordplay, and I have to say he has some of the corniest lines in all of hip-hop. It's something I've been aware of course, but listening to a ton of his music back to back, it's really hard to ignore it. One trope that he does again and again and again is, this thing is blank, call it blank. And once or twice is cool, but then he just does it again and again. One song in particular, he does it like 5 times, and after I noticed it the second or third time, I couldn't believe it. He kept doing it. And I've listened to a lot of artists' discographies front to back, and one thing I've noticed is once they get to the era where Lil Wayne was huge, they start writing lines like that. And sometimes they're cool, and sometimes they're corny, but it just was like a staple of the time. My personal favorite / most hated line is, when it wanes, it pours. It's awful, it's so good. Lil Wayne beats have a ton of snare rolls, lots of extra hits and fills, and copying beats like this was really fun. I especially enjoyed making that 2010 era pitched snare roll that he did all the time. It might sound corny or dated to a lot of people, but I was loving it. I also appreciated the simplicity of beats at this time. A lot of these songs just take a simple 4-bar idea, then a different 4-bar idea, and they repeat back and forth for the entirety of the song. Milli does this exactly, 6'7" does this as well, and a few others. It's really like you can listen to the entire beat and notice that there's no variation, it's just literally on loop. And typically I'm someone that likes to make sure there's variation. I do a lot of automation and changing of sounds, switching up patterns. But as an exercise, I made a couple beats like this where I restrained myself and I just let it loop. And I was very surprised that I liked them and I didn't miss those other elements. Especially if I'm imagining a rapper on top. A beat doesn't need to be everything, it just needs to be the foundation. And the foundation can be simple if it's a good foundation. If the beat is vibin', sometimes that's all you need. Keyword is sometimes. There are no rules in art. But trying out simpler beats was inspiring for me, and I know I have that as an option now. I really enjoyed my month of Lil Wayne. It was very nostalgic, I found some hidden gems, made some 2000s type beats, and have a new appreciation for an artist I only had a shallow perspective on. I also enjoyed finding a couple beats by Kanye that I had never heard before and really liked. And the format of this video is a little different from others in the series. I didn't give myself a list of things I learned making these beats, just because as I dive into more and more artists, a lot of these lessons are repeating. For instance, one of my lessons early on was to be prolific, and I could have applied that to any of the artists I've covered so far. So rather than give myself a list of things I learned, I thought it would be better if I just talk more casually about it, kind of discussing the artist without trying to make specific points or have any type of headline at all. It's not to say that I didn't learn from Lil Wayne, of course I did, I just don't have 4 bullet points or 3 bullet points that I can share. And I want to clarify that I like his lyrics, I just wanted to clown him a little bit because he has some really corny ones, and Not that they're bad, they're just like cheesy, you know? Having a lot of fun doing these challenges. I'm hoping to do more. Probably not every month, but every month that I can block out to do all the listening and the beat making. Thank you for making it to the end, and I'll see you next time. Peace.